Tonight on CTV News at 5.
And we're seniors, so my nice neighbors, the young fellas, came over to help us.
Day 2, Maritimers dig out again after another blast of winter.
This is only the second litter in the last 2 years in all of Canada.
Not your average dogs. A New Brunswick breeder welcomes 11 rare retrievers.
I said, baby, the plow just went by, and your dad's back is bad at 35.
And a Nova Scotia man pens a very relatable tune.
Colder temperatures and scattered flurries tonight. Some sun in the forecast for Wednesday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Panopoulos. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, winter weary. Another blast of snow blanketed the region last night, and today late opens, closures and cancellations disrupted another day. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, whether they were shoveling, salting, sledding, or just staying put, Maritimers faced the fresh snowfall head on. Ryan.
Well, Maria, I'm inside by the wood stove, and I have to admit that it's pretty darn cozy after spending more than enough time outside today, both shoveling and shooting video today. Here in Cape Breton, it was a bit of a delayed impact from this particular storm. Yesterday, the snow didn't really amount to much, but when we woke up today, it turned out that we had been walloped pretty good, after all. The roar of snowblowers and the scraping sound of snowplows filled the air in Sydney and surrounding communities today. And when the machines weren't around, the whipping of the wind served notice as to what kind of day it's been.
Well, I had it done last night, and we're seniors, so my nice neighbors, the young fellas, came over to help us.
This homeowner in Sydney's North End had plenty of helping hands when it came to digging out, even though these young men had quite the mess to tackle themselves in their own driveway.
Many hands make light work.
Yes, it does, especially when they see an older lady out shoveling.
It's been a long day, actually, a long 2 days. And that's basically our issue right now. We've been waiting for this thing to happen. Then when it did happen and we got the most snow, our guys have already been out for 10, 12 hours.
The man in charge of the city's fleet of plows says when the heavy snowfall did come, it was more than they expected. Transit buses were off the road until at least 4 p.m. City Hall was closed for the day and curbside collection canceled as tired crews worked to get the roads clear.
Most of the main roads are done now, and we're into secondary roads, so I would suspect by supper time tonight we should be pretty well cleaned up and into sidewalks.
So yesterday we had about 400 commercial units in North Sydney trying to get to Newfoundland. We had about 300 in Port aux Basques.
The Crown Corporation that runs the Newfoundland Ferry says this winter has been one of their worst in recent memory. While they were able to clear some of the backlog before the worst of the weather hit, it was still a big rush to get essential goods across the Cabot Strait.
Perishable products, propane, things such as medical oxygen for the hospitals, those were prioritized with an urgent need to get to Newfoundland.
Back on land in Cape Breton, for some, there is plenty of cleanup left, with perhaps more wintry weather on the way early next week.
Get my groceries, get in the house, and stay comfy and warm.
And the city's director of public works is also reminding people that the city's parking ban remains in effect tonight. He says that they towed plenty of vehicles last night, and that really it's common sense. It's about allowing the plows and the city crews to clear the roads safely, Maria.
Thank you, Ryan. CTV's Ryan McDonald for us in Sydney with a fireside chat tonight. Good night, Ryan. And time now to head over to the anchor desk now, where we've got more on this snow. Do we say it was snowing again, or just it kept snowing?
Well, I was thinking of it as sort of a round 2, but maybe it never really stopped, depending on where you are.
Follow-up, yeah.
What isn't stopping is the cleanup that continues nearly 36 hours after the snow began in some parts of the region. Sidewalks, streets, you name it. We'll take a look at the effects of the closures and cancellations that happened, and snow days in some parts of the region and the effect it's taken on business. There's a lot to talk about at 6. St. John police are investigating after assault allegations were reported at a long-term care home in the city. Police say the alleged offenses involve at least a dozen victims and could be sexual in nature. We'll have more on this investigation from CTV's Nick Moore in your newscast. Should there be more regulation for rideshare companies operating in Halifax, Uber and the like? That was the topic of debate at Halifax Regional Council today. The city admits it doesn't even know how many rideshare drivers are even on the streets of Halifax. We'll talk about that at 6 o'clock. Kayla Mitchell with lots to talk about the weather.
And the snow may have moved on, but the cold, that's back in place, and it's here to stay for the rest of this week. We have temperatures right now this evening in the Maritimes, mostly sitting in the range around -7 to -11. Wind chill is a factor out there as well. It's making it feel down into the minus teens, in some cases feeling pretty close to -20, including at Charlottetown at this hour, with the wind chill making it feel near -19. Here's a look at those winds. They're out of the northwest, so that, of course, continues to bring that colder air in off the continent. They're being sustained in a lot of cases between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, except higher around eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Locations in Cape Breton reporting some sustained winds between 30 and 40. At Canso right now, the weather station there, with a sustained wind near 57 and a gust near 70 kilometers per hour. There'd be stronger wind gusts, of course, up and across the Cabot Strait. We heard about the disruptions to the Marine Atlantic ferry services because of these passing storm systems. As we take a look at things on radar and satellite. Now, the bulk of the steady snow may be off to the north and east of the Maritimes, but there's still some scattered flurries in behind it. And that snow has gone on to impact parts of Newfoundland. You can see the center of the low pressure system just passing by the southern area of the Avalon Peninsula, and parts of Newfoundland are contending with some similar weather conditions the Maritimes had to, including a lot of blowing snow. There's some blowing snow advisories out around the north coast with some snowfall totals there of 10 to 20 centimeters. Parts of the interior of Newfoundland looking at 17 to 25 centimeters of snow, and other areas, including St. John's, underneath a winter storm warning. Snow totals of 15 to 25 centimeters, accompanied by some gusts between 60 and 80. I will have more on our forecast here in the Maritimes. I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. Thank you so much. A solemn reminder now, today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Survivors visited the Auschwitz concentration camp memorial site to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi camp. The former prisoners laid flowers and wreaths at the execution wall, also known as the Wall of Death, where German forces fatally shot thousands of people. About 6 million Jews and millions of others were killed by the Nazis during the Holocaust. Solemn reminder indeed. All right, we're going to take a very quick break here on CTV News at 5. Stay with us, though. We still have so much more to come, including these stories.
My name is Maxine Westhead. I'm here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Mi'kma'ki. Learn more about Dalhousie's new Master of Fisheries Science program. Coming up next on CTV News at 5.
I'm Avery McRae in Cambridge Narrows, New Brunswick, where I'm having the best day at the office because these are no ordinary puppies I am playing with. These are curly-coated retrievers, 11 to be exact. A breed so rare they are believed to be just the second litter born in Canada in the last 2 years. CTV News at 5 has all the details coming up.
Bobby's Hospice provides valuable palliative and grief support to hundreds of people every year. You can help Hospice Greater St. John by enjoying the annual Valentine's Day Gala, Saturday, February 14th. For details, call 506-632-5593.
Welcome back. A very special litter of puppies was recently born in the small New Brunswick community of Cambridge Narrows. As CTV's Avery McRae shows us, the tiny retrievers are a very rare breed.
11 brown and black balls of fur. At just 3 weeks old, these puppies are still learning how life works and have little idea of just how rare they are.
This is only the second litter in the last 2 years in all of Canada.
These are curly-coated retrievers. They are one of the oldest breeds around, says first-time breeder Juanita Pelli, nearly going extinct in the early 20th century. She says nationwide there are under 100 of these types of dogs.
I am very much filled with joy and pride for being able to raise the numbers and to raise the popularity of this breed in Canada.
Pelli wants to see the breed thrive similar to other labs and retrievers. Just like their more common cousins, the curly-coated canine is highly intelligent and a loyal family member.
We'll spend all day with you out in the field or hiking or hunting, but we'll also be just as comfortable curling up on the sofa, putting their head on their lap, watching TV.
This litter has good breeding for many reasons.
So these are the
Mom Callie was named the #1 coated retriever in Canada for 2025, and Dad Isaac was born and raised in Nova Scotia. Pelly hopes the newborns serve as a beacon for the breed's future. How do we go about continuing to raise the awareness of this rare breed?
By educating yourself on the breed. Actually, there's lots of information out there. There's lots of stories.
3 puppies have already found homes in Nova Scotia, Calgary, and Washington, and Pelly points out the distance speaks to how rare they are. She hopes to have more litters down the line, with a goal to see the breed return to glory just as they were 100 years ago. Avery McCrae, CTV News, Cambridge Narrows, New Brunswick.
Oh, so sweet. And Mama looks like she's doing really well, too, which is nice to see.
Yeah, you just kind of want to, like, lay in there with the puppies and crawl all over you.
Yeah, so sweet. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the weather. My goodness, what a busy couple of days you've had in the Weather Center.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. It was nice to see some sun break through just a little bit for today. We're looking out here at the covered bridge. This is at the Bloomfield Creek, Bloomfield, New Brunswick. And we're going to have more on the forecast coming up after break.
We will now proceed to the official unveiling of the African Heritage Month 2026 poster. I would like to invite...
Hey, there's our friend and colleague, CTV's Vanessa Wright. She emceed the official launch of African Heritage Month today. The special event was held at the Black Cultural Centre for Nova Scotia in Cherrybrook. Community leaders, government officials, and many others were on hand for the unveiling of this year's official poster and theme, Strength in Unity, moving forward with purpose, prosperity, power, and progress.
Well, February is African Heritage Month, and today was a wonderful day to kick it off. This year's theme, Strength in Unity, is a powerful theme that speaks to the unity of the African Nova Scotia community that has had a presence in this province for well over 400 years.
Special events and workshops are scheduled throughout the month of February, and for a full list, just check out the Black Cultural Centre's website. We'll try to highlight as many of those events as we can right here on CTV. Kaylin Mitchell joins us now. Kaylin, in the break, we were kind of joking about how this, if you had 20/20 vision, hindsight, this would have been a great week to take off and maybe go down south if you don't like the snow.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe a very, very nice neighbor would help you out and shovel it away for you while you're away on your trip. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. So for that, we're going to go take a look at the Halifax Oval. We're in behind the snow, and the last of it sort of wrapped up mostly during the morning hours. So there are a few flurries off and on throughout the day. There's a couple skaters out there taking advantage of some blue sky. Did want to bundle up, though. It was a rather cold day across all 3 maritime provinces. Temperatures still below average, even for the end of January, and expected to remain a little bit below average as we move towards the end of this week. Barometric pressure is still on the lower side. We are on the back side, though, of this low pressure system, that nor'easter type storm that is now moving across the south of Newfoundland. As we looked at earlier, there are some snowfall and some winter storm warnings in place for Newfoundland. In behind it, we've been left in a cold northwest wind that's going to carry on for tonight, and there are going to be some scattered flurries. There's a few areas where the chances of flurries are going to be a bit higher throughout this evening and tonight. That does include western areas of Nova Scotia from the Minas Basin down through the Annapolis Valley and into the Tri-County region, Digby, Yarmouth, and Shelburne counties. Higher chance of flurries around the east of Prince Edward Island, around the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia. And you can certainly see there are some flurries streaming in off the Gulf of St. Lawrence for areas of Cape Breton. So that's going to continue as we head through this evening and tonight. Other parts of the Maritimes, partly cloudy conditions with a lower chance of a flurry, say 20 or 30% chance. And then into the start of the day for tomorrow, it's going to be very cold Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud, and there will still be a chance of some flurries for a few areas, especially for communities in Nova Scotia. Now, overall snowfall, additional snowfall amounts to come. Some of the flurries expected for both tonight into tomorrow morning. Locally could be around 1 to 5 centimeters around western areas of Nova Scotia. Certainly possible 1 to 5 centimeters through large parts of Inverness County and Cape Breton, except up in the Cape Breton Highlands, where at the highest terrain there could maybe be 5 to 10 centimeters. That's tonight into tomorrow. Taking a look at winds in the forecast out of the northwest for this evening. The wind gusts do diminish a little bit by around midnight. And then tomorrow's winds still out of the northwest, and they'll be sustained in the afternoon, 20 to 30 kilometers per hour, with some gusts between 30 and 40, except up to around 50 on exposed areas of the coast. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the Maritimes. A lot of lows for New Brunswick, falling into range around -12 to -17, down to around -7 for Charlottetown tonight. A lot of low temperatures for Nova Scotia as well, several degrees below the freezing mark, and some down to around -11. In the forecast for tomorrow, there's a chance of flurries for Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, then mostly a mix of sun and cloud for New Brunswick. In the forecast for Thursday, colder air remains in place. There is a band of some flurries that's going to be coming down over the St. Lawrence River Valley and through Quebec. So that may make its way into northern areas of New Brunswick throughout the day on Thursday, where high temperatures will be between -9 and -12. Much of the rest of the Maritimes is looking at a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday, and temperatures that'll be cold. You can see central and southern areas of New Brunswick with highs between -7 and -9. High temperatures around -11 for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island, and the high temperatures for Nova Scotia on Thursday between -5 and -8. That takes us into the end of the week, and for Friday, we're still looking at a band of some lighter snow or flurries kind of wrapping down towards parts of New Brunswick out of the north. And there will be a chance that some of those flurries could reach a little bit further south into the Maritimes throughout the day. So that could bring them into parts of Prince Edward Island as well as areas of Nova Scotia. The colder air does stick with us all the way into the end of this week. As you can see, high temperatures -5 to -9 on Friday for New Brunswick, around -9 for Charlottetown, Summerside, and Prince Edward Island, and the high temperatures for Nova Scotia between -7 and -9. Temperatures, at least the daytime highs, moderate slightly for the upcoming weekend, but we do need to watch out for more snow Sunday into Monday. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from Tessa Thibault from Rothsay, New Brunswick. Tessa sent us a drawing of a winter scene complete with snowman and falling snowflakes. Very appropriate given the weather we've had lately. And CTV Weather Watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email me at kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So on the East Coast, fisheries aren't just an industry, they are a way of life. And now as CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, Dalhousie University is about to launch a program designed to shape the next generation of people protecting and managing our oceans.
On the East Coast, the ocean isn't background noise, it's the backbone. It feeds communities, shapes cultures, and fuels an economy. And now Dalhousie University is casting a wider net.
It's a new Master of Fisheries Science program. It's housed in the Faculty of Science, and there's 4 departments that are contributing to the delivery of the courses. So it's a truly interdisciplinary program.
This isn't a traditional path, and that's the point. The program is designed to open doors faster.
It's a course-based master's program, so it's 16 months, whereas traditional master's thesis program take up to 2 years.
And learning doesn't stop at the lab. Students will trade lecture halls for life jackets.
We'll be going to Huntsman Marine Science Center in St. Andrews, New Brunswick for 1 week to get them on the water and sampling fish. And then we will also have a week in Cape Breton focused around the salmon ceremony.
The final green light is still weeks away, but Dalhousie says the momentum is already there.
We envision our students leaving with the skills of knowing how to conduct stock assessment, but also fish monitoring and providing science advice to management.
A new program anchored in the waters of Atlantic Canada. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Hafsa. Masters of Fisheries makes a lot of sense for these parts, doesn't it? All right, going to take a break. When we come back, though, a timely tune.
I'm Ryan McDonald in Sydney. These days, most people around here can relate to what it's like when you've just finished a fairly long shoveling session and then the plow comes by and fills the end of your driveway back in.
I said, baby, the plow just went by.
Well, now, a Cape Breton man has written a song about it. We'll bring you the story coming up.
Now to a story so many of us can relate to, especially this week, as CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us a Cape Breton man has turned one of his biggest frustrations about shoveling into a song.
Like most Maritimers, Danny McNeil has done his share of shoveling the past couple of days, and like most people who clear their driveways, he has what you might call a bit of a pet peeve.
The older you get, the more you understand that the plow driver is just doing his job, and there's nothing he can do about it. But there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than finishing up a shoveling job and then there it goes again.
I said, baby, the plow just went by, and your dad's back is bad at 35.
Now, the Sydney musician and father of 3-year-old twins has written a song about just what it feels like when the plow undoes some of your hard work. It's called The Plow Just Went By, and he says it was inspired in part by Cape Breton's infamous Snowmageddon storm 2 winters ago.
Where we were snowed in for 7 days or so, and that's where I wrote the majority of the song.
So stay here, my little big eyes. I will be back to say goodnight.
While at first it seems like a song that's simply about the trials and tribulations of a tired shoveler, McNeil says it has a broader meaning too.
But really, at its core, it's a song about kind of the things in life that pull us away from our kids and kind of, life's responsibilities and having to keep up with them.
The song will be officially released this coming Friday, January 30th. And while McNeil says he didn't exactly plan for it to come out the same week as a significant snowstorm, it doesn't exactly hurt that it did.
I hope that people can relate to it quite a bit and kind of see their own story in the song, for sure.
McNeil adds that the song will be performed live for the first time during a show at On the Same Page bookstore in downtown Sydney on February the 6th. Until then, though, he's preparing himself for life to imitate art.
I've got lots of shoveling in my future, absolutely. Yeah. Lots to look forward to.
I gotta go and shovel that snow, and before it comes too heavy a load.
A new song that at the very least could be rated relatable. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
It's actually quite catchy, and I have to say a lot of us are feeling very seen right now. Thank you for that.
It is relatable. But on that note, I would also like to say a big thank you to those plow drivers, because they are often out in the worst of that weather, and they're making sure that we can get where we need to go. And every once in a while, you got to go back out there for that second or third time to clear out the end of your driveway. But they're just all doing the best they can, as we all are when we're dealing with these snow events. Speaking of which, it looks like we maybe got another one coming up towards the end of the weekend and the start of next week. I'll be talking more about that when I'm back later on at on CTV News at 6.
We'll see you and Todd and Katie at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone. The national news is next.